Go Stephen.
Oh, I guess I should take this off. So it's nice to actually be doing something in person, right?
I agree, yes.
Right?
Thank you so much, Ms. Monaco, for agreeing to speak with me here today about such a very significant and timely topic, ransomware and cyber threats.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I'm just curious to know the trends that you have seen both in terms of the frequency of ransomware attacks and the targeting by Russia.
President Biden has been quite clear and direct with President Putin that we expect them to take action on criminal actors who are operating from within their borders. Now, we have not seen a material change in the landscape. Only time will tell as to what Russia may do on this front. But we're going to continue to do our work. We are not going to stop. We're going to continue to press forward to hold accountable those who seek to go after our industries, to hold our data hostage, and threaten national security, economic security, personal security.
Last week we had the extradition of the second TrickBot defendant. Obviously also there was the clawback of ransomware proceeds in the Colonial Pipeline case. I'm wondering, looking forward, what more we can expect to see out of the Justice Department in the coming weeks and months.
You saw last week was a perfect example of the type of message we're trying to get out. And that is that if you come for us, we're going to come for you. So what you saw last week is a perfect example of the type of message we're trying to get out there. And that is that if you come for us, we're going to come for you. And so what we did last week is we worked with our international partners to get a Russian cyber criminal actor who was hiding out in South Korea and get him here to the United States to face justice, to face charges here in a courtroom. So in the days and the weeks to come, you're going to see more arrests, more seizures, and you're going to see more operations like we did last week.
So when you say that these hackers are opportunistic, does that mean that they are sort of growing wary of the spotlight that comes with extorting multi-million-dollar payments from some of the world's largest companies and are therefore operating more under the shadows?
So we are seeing a steady drumbeat of attacks happening all over the country, some with greater and larger impact. So when I say opportunistic, I say what I mean is these actors are looking for areas that they can be successful at. And whether it's industry A or industry B, I'm not sure they're going to be discriminating so long as they can have the impact they want, which is to hold hostage data and get paid for it.
I am wondering, I appreciate that these are very different contexts. One thing I have long been interested in. I assume there's no scenario in which you could envision a prosecution of an entity that decides to make a ransomware payment?
You know, the reason that you have a policy not to fuel further bad activity is to try and frustrate the business purpose, right, or the business model. That's the type of thing we're trying to do. Ultimately, where there's a criminal prohibition, it involves sanctions against, for instance, a terrorist actor. So I think really what we want to do is work with victim companies, make sure they're not re-victimized by the system, that they come forward, that they work with us, so that A, we can try and get any ransom they decide to pay back, and most importantly, understand what the threat is so we can stop the follow-on victim.
You mentioned obviously a supply chain attack, which is something that we have seen with SolarWinds, and I am wondering, obviously the Justice Department was a very significant victim of that. There was at least an initial assessment made about the dozens of U.S. attorneys' offices that were affected. Have you guys completed that work? Do you have
No industry, no part of government is immune from a sophisticated supply chain attack like that one. So we're looking and undertaking that assessment. The thing we have to remember is we need to practice what we preach and be doing the same type of vigilance on our cybersecurity that we are asking companies to do, the same type of vigilance on our personal cyber hygiene that we are asking other individuals to do.
Ms. Monaco, thank you so much for this wonderful and informative conversation. I really appreciate the opportunity to talk to you about such an important issue.
Thanks very much for having me.